Right friends, we are into third week. We are going to discuss various issues of this particular week, because every week from January 1st onwards we started this series. This series constitutes around 30 minutes of lecture for every week, as well as 2 question and answer sessions for each and every week, which makes 1.5 hours for a complete week, so as to have the broad perspective of current affairs during that week. We are into third week. Let us look at the important events of this week. First and the foremost thing is Aravind Panagaria took over as the vice chairman for Niti Aayog. The second important news of this week is sacking of DRDO chief Mr. Avinash Chandra. The other one is ESSER report, that is annual status of education report, says that the learning standards of children abysmally low. And the next one is Harishankar Brahma took over as the 19th Chief Election Commissioner. Another important news is, because of controversy, CBFC chairperson Leela Sampson resigns. And looking at the other things this week, it is the World Bank chief says that India is going to catch up with China's growth by the year 2016-17. One important news. And Reserve Bank Governor for the first time cut 0.25% in repo rate. And ABD Villiers, the fastest century in 1 day. This is another news. And 72nd Golden Globe Awards were announced. So these are the important news making rounds during this week. So let us look at these issues one by one. First and the foremost, this Niti Aayog came into existence. We have discussed in detail last week what is going to be the composition of this Niti Aayog. There will be a structure at the administrative level headed by the Prime Minister. There will be governing councils where the chief ministers and lieutenant governors will be the members, and there will be regional councils to settle the disputes between the states or among the states. So it will be administrative setup at the top headed by the Prime Minister, then this governing council and regional councils. When you look at the administrative setup at the top, the Prime Minister will be the chairman, vice chairman is Aravind Panagaria, chief executive officer is Sindhushri Kullar. 2 permanent members have already been nominated. Out of the 2 members, 1 member is famous economist Vivek Debra and 1 is famous scientist V.K. Saraswat. In addition to this, 4 union cabinet ministers will be ex officio members, right? And 3 members will be called as guests, or you can say, so 4 cabinet ministers will be ex officio members. So this is the broad composition at the top level of this Niti Aayog, right? So Mr. Aravind Panagaria, famous economist, Indian American economist, who got vast experience, who worked as chief economist at ADB and also worked at World Bank, IMF, WTO, UNCTAD. He got vast experience of many organizations. He took over as the vice chairman of Niti Aayog during this week, right? Look at the next issue. DRDO chief. DRDO is nothing but Defense Research and Development Organization. Defense Research and Development Organization. Its chief Avinash Chandra was removed from his post. Mr. Avinash Chandra, he is the man behind the development of Agni ballistic missile program. Actually, he already retired in the month of November 2014 on superannuation, on completing his tenure, but subsequently government asked him to continue for 18 months on contract basis up to 31st May 2016. Government asked him to continue on contract basis up to 31st May 2016, but during the visit of the Prime Minister, he was not happy with the functioning of DRDO. He commented that he was not happy with the laid-back attitude of the DRDO, subsequently Appointments Committee of the Cabinet, headed by the Prime Minister, took a decision to sack Avinash Chandra. So, Avinash Chandra was sacked by the Union Appointments Committee headed by the Prime Minister. So, this is the news. He was sacked 16 months before his contract period ends. Right? Look at the next one. Very unfortunate thing, which shows the state of affairs among the learning standards of the school. This is survey, Annual Status of Education Report, ASER properly called, ASER 2014 report, Annual Status of Education Report. This clearly says the learning outcomes among the children are absolutely poor. And this survey was conducted by a non-governmental organization, that is Pratham. This organization is famous for improving the educational standards in slum areas in Mumbai and other cities. They conducted this survey. As per this survey, 48% of the students, 48% of the class 5 students only can read the text of class 2. That means only 48% of students who are studying in class 5 can read the textbook of class 2. That means 52% cannot read. That means the standards of education in the country are abysmally low, and it clearly told that only 35% of the students in Assam, Jharkhand and Madhya Pradesh can read the text of class 2. Right to Education Act has not made much difference. Our learning standards are continue to be abysmally poor. Right? Let us move on to the next issue. Mr. H.S. Brahma took over as the 19th Chief Election Commissioner. The retirement age for Chief Election Commissioner is 65 years. I would like to tell you a few more points. Election Commission is the constitutional body, and it consists of one Chief Election Commissioner and 2 Election Commissioners. Chief Election Commissioner, Mr. V.S. Sampath, retired after attaining the age of 65 years, and Mr. Harishankar Brahma, who is the Election Commissioner, got elevated to Chief Election Commissioner. So, H.S. Brahma is IAS officer of Andhra Pradesh cadre. He is from Assam, and he will be completing 65 years on 19th April 2015. So, he will be in this post for hardly a period of 3 months only. He is the 19th Chief Election Commissioner. Please remember, and superannuation age is 65 years, and this is the constitutional body. It consists of one Chief Election Commissioner and 2 Election Commissioners. This is all about Election Commission, which conducts regular elections to the state legislatures as well as Lok Sabha, and the voting age for the citizens of this country is now 18 years. Right? The next one, CBFC chairperson, famous Bharatanatyam dancer Leela Sampson quits. Here I would like to tell you 2 things. First, the examining committee as well as the revising committee both rejected the certification for one particular film, that is MSG, The Messenger of God. This particular film was featured by the head of the Dera Sacha Sauda. Dera Sacha Sauda, it is Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh. It is one of the sects of Sikhs, and it is Dera Sacha Sauda, Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh, and that film certification was not given by Central Board of Film Certification. Both examining committee and revising committee rejected it. Subsequently, the matter was referred to Appellate Tribunal, Film Certification Appellate Tribunal, and they cleared this film within 2 days. And subsequently, the CBFC chairperson Leela Sampson was not happy with the development and she resigned, and entire censor board resigned subsequently, and she made serious allegations against the government that I&B ministry is interfering into the affairs of CBFC, Central Board of Film Certification. Of course, the minister denied these allegations. So, this film has created a lot of protests. Sikh groups protested across Punjab and adjoining states. This MSG, the Messenger of God, some of the Sikh organizations felt that it offended the sentiments of Sikhs. So, this is all about the resignation of Leela Samson controversy as well as the controversies surrounding the film of MSG, the Messenger of God. Right? Okay, let us move on to the next issue. When we look at the world events, all is not well with the world. Many countries are in problems. Japan is in recession. Massive bond buying program was announced by Japan long back. What is the meaning of this bond buying program? When there is a recession means there is a negative growth for 2 successive quarters. We look at growth in our country. The growth is 5%, 6%, 4%, something like that in our country. That means when compared to last year, we are growing. But in some Western countries and in some developed economies, what happens is instead of growing, their economy will contract. Right? In such a case, we call it recession. In case of recession, what the governments or what the central banks will do is they will pump in lot of money into the market by buying bonds from the market. They pump in lot of money into the market. That is bond buying program. So, bond buying program, what happens is lot of money will be available in the market, because of which, because of the availability of money, demand will be created. Automatically, the country will come out of recession. That is the main purpose of bond buying program. Many countries and many central banks are resorting to this in recent times. Right? Coming to the next issue, agitation in Bangladesh by Bangladesh Nationalist Party. This is with regard to conducting free and fair elections. Elections were held last year, January 5. Bangladesh Nationalist Party not participated in those elections. The condition put forth by BNP was the election should be held under a caretaker government, and they have no faith in the present government. So, they could not participate in the elections, and ultimately the Awami League Party won without the opposition, because the main party decided not to contest in the polls. That's why they won hands down. And this year, after the completion of 1 year of elections, Bangladesh Nationalist Party called for agitation and several people lost their lives. Right? Look at another country. This is Vietnam. Vietnam currency. Recently, they devalued their currency dong. The currency of Vietnam is dong. Recently, they devalued their currency because of the reason to stimulate exports. Some countries rarely resort to devaluing their currency so as to give impetus to exports. Indian government has devalued its currency in 1991 when there was crisis in foreign exchange. So, now this country, Vietnam, devalued its currency. Similarly, recently, Belarus devalued its currency, ruble. Almost second time within a week. Look at the next issue. First visit of Sri Lanka Foreign Minister to India. Mr. Maithripala Sirisena got elected as the President of Sri Lanka. He sent his Foreign Minister first to India, and it shows that the eagerness to have better ties with India, because I have already told you, Mr. Rajapaksa has got a little tilt towards China, and Mr. Maithripala Sirisena would like to have balanced relation with his neighbors. Right? The next issue is activities of terrorists are going up in northeast Nigeria. All of us know about Boko Haram. Boko Haram is very active in northeastern part of Nigeria. Recently, a suicide bomb attack by a 10-year-old girl. Can you imagine? A 10-year-old girl has resorted to suicide bomb attack and it killed several people. Right? This happened in Nigeria. So, in world, several countries are in problems. Greece, there is a problem. Afghanistan, there is a problem from Taliban. Pakistan is suffering due to several terrorist organizations. And ISIS is destabilizing not only Iraq but also Syria. So, like that, there are several problems across the world. So, let us look at some of these problems next week. Let us move on to the next issue, right? Recently, Global Outlook, the report is released by the World Bank. Do you know who is the president of World Bank? It is Jim Yong Kim. He is the president of World Bank. Recently, they released the report of Global Outlook. In that outlook, what they have pointed out is Indian economy is poised to grow at 5.6% this year, that is 2014-15. Do you know the financial year starts on April 1 and ends on March 31st? So this year the expected growth is 5.6%. Next year the expected growth is 6.4%. And 2016-17 our GDP growth will be 7%. By that time we will catch up with China. Do you know China's growth last year, that is 2014, was the lowest in 25 years. That was 7.4%. So China's economy is slightly slowing down and we have to grow at much faster pace. So our growth may go up to 7% and Chinese growth may come down to 7% by 16-17. I have already told you China's growth during last year was 7.4%, the lowest in 25 years. So as per the Global Outlook report, it's going to be 5.6% this year, 6.4% next year, 7% by 16-17. By that time, India will catch up with China. That is the important message given by the Global Outlook report released by the World Bank. Look at the next issue. RBI governor cuts 0.25% in repo rate. Repo rate, what is repo rate? It is the rate at which banks borrow from RBI for shorter duration. If there is some mismatch in liquidity, banks normally borrow from RBI for shorter duration of 1 day or 2 days or like that. So for that, the interest rate was reduced from 8% to 7.75%. The interest rate was reduced by 0.25%. This was the first reduction undertook by Mr. Raghuram Rajan. Second is, this is the first reduction in 20 months. Third is, this is the first reduction other than during the monetary policy. During the monetary policy, normally this repo rate, reverse repo rate, CRR, SLR, these things will be looked at. But RBI governor chose an occasion other than monetary policy review to reduce 0.25% in repo rate. So it gives signal to the market that in future interest rates may come down in our country. So at present repo rate is 7.75, reverse repo rate is 6.75 and bank rate is 8.75. Right? So whenever repo rate is reduced, it gives a signal to the market that interest rates are coming down, which is good for industry, which is good for credit offtake. Right? Look at the next one. A.B. de Villiers. This is one important sports news this week. A.B. de Villiers became the man with the fastest century in ODIs. This occurred at Johannesburg against West Indies, Wanderers cricket ground in Johannesburg in South Africa. The cricketer is A.B. de Villiers of South Africa. He scored the fastest century ever in 1 day in 31 balls. He scored the fastest century in 31 balls. Previous best was by Anderson of New Zealand in 36 balls during 2014. So, he created a record by scoring the 1 day fastest century with 31 balls only. A.B. de Villiers is of South Africa. This took place Johannesburg Wanderers cricket ground. This match is against West Indies, and finally Mr. A.B. de Villiers scored 149 runs in 44 balls, and in this match South Africa crushed West Indies. Right? Next. The last event of this week is 72nd Golden Globe Awards were announced. Right? This is announced by Hollywood Foreign Press Association announces these awards every year. First, these awards were announced in 1944. These are the 72nd Golden Globe Awards. And from 1961 onwards, these awards are being presented in Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles. From 1961 onwards, these are being presented in Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles. And here, in these awards are for films and television. These awards are for film and television. And in these awards, Boyhood got maximum 3 awards and Birdman wins 2 prizes. The Theory of Everything won 2 prizes. Right? So, if you want to look at who won these awards, Best Film Award in Drama has gone to Boyhood. Best Film Award in Comedy has gone to The Grand Budapest Hotel. And look at the actors and actress, because here the best actor is presented, one for drama and the other one for comedy film. So, 2 actors, 2 actresses will be presented, and best director is Richard Linklater for Boyhood. I would like to tell few things about this film. The film Boyhood was built over a period of almost 12 years. The film Boyhood, it totally took 12 years because he want to naturally look at the things which will happen while a boy is turning into adulthood when his parents have taken divorce. So, to take into account those moments naturally, the film took 12 years. This is the history of Boyhood, and its director Richard Linklater got the Best Director Award. Right? With this, we'll close today's lecture, and we will discuss questions and answers in 2 other question and answer sessions. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. We will once again meet for question and answer sessions. Have a nice time. Thank you.